It's a Sunday finale of Major League Table Tennis here in Myrtle Beach. This East Division weekend concludes with the Florida Crocs and Chicago win, getting us started here at the Myrtle Beach Sports Center in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So far this weekend here in Myrtle Beach, every team has won a match, every team has lost a match. It has been very close and competitive. The Florida Crocs with a 1-point lead in the total team point standings. We'll see Carolina and Princeton later today. The Revolution got their first Golden Game and match victory yesterday. Who's going to win the weekend? Who's going to be in first place as we head toward November? We'll answer those questions over the next few hours. Good morning, everybody. Evan Lepler with the Olympian Sean O'Neill. It's great to have you with us. Things have been very close. They've been very tight. What do you expect today?
Well, I was missing Ojo last night, so I can't wait to see him in the lineup today.
Ojo Ona'olapo will play singles for the Crocs. He was inactive yesterday. This is a rematch of a very close match that took place in Daytona Beach. Both the match and the Golden Game were very close. It was 21-19, the Golden Game down in Florida.
And Daniel Gorak was the difference. Let's see if he has a big game today.
Well, we're going to start with Dan Gorak in singles against Sasha Hanin, and then an intriguing matchup of the two Frenchmen, Benjamin Brossier and Damien Provost. Provost celebrated his 39th birthday yesterday by taking 2 out of 3 from the #1 draft pick, Enzo Angles. Later, it'll be Kazaku and Gonzalez, and then you mentioned Ojo. And I agree with you, Sean. I felt like Florida missed him in his energy, in his spunk in the Golden Game yesterday. That was a factor in Florida suffering their first ever Golden Game defeat.
Yeah, and as a lefty player with so much power, he brings a lot of energy to the team. Excellent player.
So we begin with this first singles showdown, a battle of Europe, Poland versus Belarus. It's Daniel Gorak for the Crocs and Sasha Hanin for the win. Both these players have won 3 games and lost 3 games in singles over the past couple of days. So a winning weekend is up for grabs, not just for their team, but for both of these individuals who are arguably the top players on their respective squads. We begin with a bang. The top players going head-to-head at the table, 3 games to 11. Try to set the tone for this Sunday here in Myrtle Beach. Dan Gorak against Jinxing Wang yesterday overcame a 10-4 deficit in the middle game to score 7 straight points and win 11-10, so he's never out of it.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised, though, in the Golden Game how well Jinxing came back to really give his team that extra edge to give the Revolution their first Golden Game victory.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was a key factor in the Golden Game. We got
Crocs to serve. Love all.
A lot of table tennis to watch, though, before we get to the Golden Game here. Chicago against Florida. Gorak will serve to get us started. What are you expecting stylistically between these two players as they face off for the first time in the Major League Table Tennis ranks?
Both these players play very similar, nice all-round control games. Gorak maybe a little safer, but Hanin has a lot of power on both the backhand and forehand sides.
Nothing lead for Gorak. Representing the Florida Crocs, Gorak was the #2 pick in the inaugural MLTT draft. It's held in August.
3-1.
Gorak, a 4-time European champ. Competed in the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics in Brazil.
Two.
Both players love to play a controlled opening attack. Don't have so much power where they're trying to finish the point, but just set up and build the point. That's a beautiful re-loop by Hameen down the line.
Win to serve.
Very smart play by Daniel Gorak, just taking his time, moving the ball around, waiting for an opportunity to play the ball wide out to the forehand side.
Four all.
4-all here in game 1, playing to 11. Not win by 2, just straight to 11. Florida played Chicago back in September, Sean. Dan Gorak took 3 straight games from Dan Liu, but 2 of those 3 games were 11-10 wins.
Gorak definitely plays the big points well. Very safe on his attacks. Look at that, great step around on the backhand side. Anytime Gorak plays that forehand, you know he's going for a winner.
Thought it was interesting after the doubles match yesterday, in which Gorak and Matilda Ekholm took 2 out of 3. Ekholm talked about their mental fortitude and how that was really the difference down the stretch in getting the job done.
The 2 super experienced players with Ekholm and Gorak pairing up in the mixed doubles, where they could play against 2 male players, but the Crocs have gone with that order very strong.
7-5.
7-5 lead for Gorak. Sasha Hameen was inactive when the wind faced the Crocs a month ago. So he's getting his first look at Dan Gorak and MLTT. Hameen 3 up, 3 down over the past couple of days.
Oh,
there's a heck of a forehand winner.
7-6.
Any serve that goes a little bit long, you can expect the receiver to just jump right on top of it and go for a winner. Serves need to stay short.
Missed it.
And Hameen set that one up perfectly with a quick, deep push. Getting a loose return, but just couldn't put it away.
Anything you notice about the technique that was off?
Yeah, he just lifted his elbow a little bit at the end, and that's going to cause the ball to elevate extra few inches.
Net.
It's important to keep that elbow down.
Exactly, as we were working on yesterday.
We were.
Oh, that's a great combination there by Gorak.
6-9.
The deep forehand push out to the forehand and then taking that backhand right off the bounce, finding the open court. Aggressive serve return.
Hameen's got to have this one to have any chance here in game 1. Nope.
Gorak so
10,
safe,
6.
so spinny, and a beautiful backhand loop down the line. Very difficult to counterattack that ball.
Hameen fights off 1 game point. Sasha, 25 years old. And he Wins both points on
8,
Gorak's serve,
10.
so perhaps I spoke too soon, Sean.
That's the beauty of MLTT. Every game is within reach.
Crocs win the
And
serve.
Haneen has 2 serves now his own to try to go into 10-10.
The odds were not in his favor, down 10-6 with a couple serves going to Gorak, but Haneen all of a sudden has fought his way back into this opening game. But Gorak able to close it out,
11-8
winning the point
Crocs.
on Haneen's serve to take game 1, 11-8. Gorak remains perfect in singles against Chicago in the MLTT, now 4 up and none down.
Just in the backhand-to-backhand exchange, Gorak a little faster, a little spinnier, most importantly, a little deeper on the table. Well
Both
played.
teams will each have 1 timeout, and they'll probably
Gorak
need
got a
it because
good
it's
game
really
face.
intense.
He is locked in mentally, focused. Chatting with Frank Arias, the coach of the Crocs, also Ojo and Dan Gonzalez over there.
So it's 10-10. I'm going to say, you know what it is.
Is that about what you expected from that opening game with these two players trading barbs?
It really is. Both are so similar in strengths with good backhands and finishing forehands. It's just we've seen Daniel Gorak control the table so well in all of his MLTT matches. When he plays his forehand, it's almost a given he's going to be hitting a winner.
Time.
So it's all about the points won. First 2 days here in Myrtle Beach, Florida, 22 points. The Chicago team
Second game.
also
Win the serve.
with 22
Love all.
points. It's been very, very close.
Zero, 1.
Unlucky break for Haneen there. He got the ball that he wanted. Much stronger on the backhand attack.
1-0.
Haneen definitely coming
1,
out
2.
more aggressive in this game too.
Three, 1. Win to serve.
Through the first 2 days of this Myrtle Beach weekend, the Wind and the Crocs each with 22, the Revolution and Gold Rush each with 20.
4, 1.
As Carolina entered this weekend with a 1-point lead, now Florida begins this final day of the tournament here in Myrtle Beach with a 1-point lead. It's all aggregate scoring over the course of the season to determine the playoff picture. Top 2 in each division will make the playoffs.
What a great combination by Gorak.
That's well done.
2, 4.
Haneen played a number of very strong loops that Gorak able to turn the table and just keep the attack going. Super technique, great placement.
Three, 4.
Gorak fighting his way back here in game 2.
That forehand is just unbelievable by Daniel Gorak. That's loop, the loop, the loop, the loop.
Big forehand from Haneen.
And he found
5,
that 1
4.
inch of open court. Excellent placement wide out to the forehand.
6. Four, 7.
Damien continuing to stay up at the table and be very aggressive on the serve.
Eight, 4. Win to serve.
Not much Gorak can do against one of those shots.
Damien closing in here on an equalizer. Set up a rubber game here in this opening singles match. Interesting, Sean, how the lineups worked out today.
Five,
Arguably, the
9.
player who's been the most successful for each of these teams this weekend is inactive.
Yeah, Pinto has been so strong for Chicago.
6-0 in
6,
singles.
9.
Pinto, the Italian, and Mark Duran unavailable today. He's 4-2 in singles here in Myrtle Beach. Duran still hasn't faced Chicago. He missed the Chicago match down in Daytona as well.
And Hanin
10,
just really
6.
stepped up his game here in game 2. Just so much more aggressive on the serve. Return just keeping it deep on the table. See if we can put this game away.
Game point.
We've seen
10,
Gorak in this
7.
position before.
They have. You would hope Hanin's not thinking about that right now.
Net.
There's game.
11, 7.
11-7 for
Second
Hanin.
game, win.
We are even one apiece to start this day of table tennis here in Myrtle Beach.
One game apiece now. Ronda.
Hanin just did a great job of mixing things up, staying close to the table, putting extreme pressure on Daniel Gorak.
Coach Eric Owens looking on. USA Table Tennis Hall of Famer.
As well as a U.S. singles champion and North American doubles champion. Quite a pedigree for Eric Owens.
Her shirt, pants, and shoes. It's perfect. Really, really cool. The details are taken care. You used to be in makeup? Whoa, we should talk to you about some of the players out here. I know Damien Gonzalez, you'll see him here in a minute. He has his sleeves.
John, what do you remember about 2007 when you were
Time.
inducted to the USA Table Tennis Hall of Fame?
It was a long evening. A lot of other great players being inducted at the same time. For that evening, actually, George Braithwaite was given the Lifetime Achievement Award. He was one of my coaches early on.
Third
So it was
game,
really cool to go
Crocs
in as a
serve,
player, but then
love
also
all.
to have one of my coaches honored for their dedication to the sport.
What's the lasting lesson he taught you?
Just to believe in yourself, regardless of who's beating you. He coached me in a couple of tough losses.
1-0.
All right, game 3. Gorak strikes first. Expect this to be tight.
Looks like both players decided it was a net serve.
Net.
One all.
1-all.
Damien starting to show that he's willing to go for that riskier first attack. Served him well in game 2. Lucky ball there for
2-1.
Damien.
So as we sit here, we have 2-1 in game 3. Both these players are 4-4 in singles on the weekend. This is their final singles game of the weekend, obviously including the Golden game. See both these guys in doubles as well. How important is this single game for both these players mentally to finish with a winning weekend, you know, with a month off until we all reconvene in Chicago?
I think it's very important, especially for Damien and Chicago. They felt under the pressure after coming out of Daytona Beach to get some more W's on the scoreboard. And we just know that first match really sets the tone for the rest of the team members. And Gorak has been the leading star MVP for the Crocs. So if you can shut that player down, that'll give your number 2, 3, and 4 player that much more confidence. And that's a great backhand by Gorak.
4-2.
There's no hesitation, driving through the ball. Not an easy shot to make.
And we talked about how close it has been this weekend with all 4 of these teams, including Carolina and Princeton. The second singles match coming up between Provost and Brossier features 2 other players that are both 3-3 entering the day in singles. Small margins are going to be the difference. Gorak has scored 2 straight to get back within 1.
And Damien had where he wanted to go on his paddle, just went long. Right shot, has to put a little bit more topspin to bring it down.
There's a winner.
Yeah.
5-3. Switch the side.
No question about the force of that forehand drive.
Switch sides at 5-3. How big of an upset would this be if Damien's able to take 2 out of 3 in your mind?
A little bit of an upset, but Damien is playing his game. He's not doing anything he's uncomfortable with. Gorak normally will play more offense as he needs to. Damien's been having that first attack for the games number 2 and so far in game 3. They're only 1 point separating the 2. Gorak with just more spin, a little bit more speed during his attacks.
Win the serve.
Oh.
5-6.
That ball almost hit the net in the air. Missed timing on the toss, trying to put too much into the ball.
6-5 now lead for Gorak. But he gives it right back, and it's 6-all here in game 3.
Nice side topspin serve. You can see the label on the ball rotating. Gorak trying to use his wrist, just lifted the ball up an inch too far.
Both these players played well enough
7.
in Daytona Beach that regardless of the result of this game, they will head toward November with winning records in singles. I guess that these are 2 of the top players, but in terms of a winning weekend, it's all on the line here, these next 6, 7, 8 points.
7-all.
serve. 7-all. Oh, what a return by Gorak.
I mean, Haneen had the high ball he wanted.
7-8.
Gorak had the radar on, just stuck his backhand out and played it down the line for a perfect position block.
Gorak with the defense.
So good from the backcourt.
9-7.
Haneen was exactly where he wanted to be, but Gorak was able to turn that point around, keep the ball nice and deep, and force the error.
Let's play.
Gorak creates a game point, taking the offensive on that one.
Just
7.
so precise in his placement, just moving the ball around, out to the forehand, out to the backhand. Haneen doing everything he can just to touch the ball.
It's over. Gorak
11,
able to jump
7.
his way to 2 out of 3
1
over
Crocs.
Sasha Haneen.
Once again, we just saw Gorak on the biggest points, play his biggest shots. And to get the first match, huge chomp for the Florida Crocs.
What's your sign? Do you guys have a sign yet? Jim, what's the Chicago you're working on?
So Daniel Gorak gets the job done. He improves to 11-7 in singles matches in Major League Table Tennis. 5-4 this weekend. And Dan puts on the headset and joins us now. Dan, congratulations. Intense table tennis to start the morning. What was the difference for you in game number 3?
Number 3, I was a little bit lucky. Couple of points because it was 7-7, and I saved 2 very important points, and that's why I won this last game.
I'm going to jump a little bit backwards to last night. How much fun and what does it mean to get a chance to play mixed doubles with Matilda? It seems like you guys have a great partnership and you really work well together as a team.
Yeah, it's a very good experience because she has so much experience in table tennis. She plays in very good high level, and I think we know each other, how we're supposed to play. I know how she likes to play. She knows how I play well, and that's why the connection between us is very well.
How would you assess where your level is right now on the table?
The level physically is I feel a little bit tired because my arm is a little bit sore back because I'm over 40 years old. But mentally I feel very well. That's why I could win very important points like that.
It's clear you were focused and determined, and you got the job done for your team. Go rest up for a little bit. Rest that arm. We'll see you for doubles in a little bit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. We heard Matilda Ekholm talk about the mental fortitude yesterday, and Daniel echoes those sentiments today as we get ready for second singles. These two Frenchmen, Benjamin Brossier and Damien Provost. Brossier, 29 years old. Provost turned 39 yesterday. Damien is the slightly higher ranked of these two players, but Brossier is a heck of a competitor. I'm curious to get your expectations on this particular showdown.
Well, both these players are big fighters for their team, but from a style comparison, they couldn't be further from each other. Provost, very handsy, fluid, just no effort. And on the other side, you've got Benjamin Brossier, who's just fighting for every point, trying to get his forehand into play, running around the whole court, looking for forehands. So it'll be interesting to see how he's able to contend with Damien's placement, which is definitely going to force him to move a lot.
First game. Win
Both
to
these
serve.
players have won 3 games and
Love
lost 3
all.
games in singles so far here in Myrtle Beach. Provost will get us started. And Brossier takes the opening point.
0-1.
Brossier played a similar, I mean, it was similar in that it was a contrast of styles against his opponent yesterday, but different styles from Damien Provost and Matthew de Saint-Delon.
When I was
2.
going back to the hotel, I
0.
asked one of the fans what they liked the most, and they said it was that match. They said I could watch that all weekend long.
Yeah, I'm with him. There's something different about it. I think, too, that coming from the outsider perspective, it's almost easier to appreciate the longer rallies. And you watch de Saint-Delon size up a ball for a longer period of time, which makes it easier to understand.
It's just so cool with de Saint-Delon playing almost 2 separate styles out there often.
Yeah.
Great ability to counterattack, but also then to block. And right
How
now,
about the start for Benjamin Brossier? 4-zip.
0-5.
just keeping pressure on Provost, both backhand and forehand side. You saw Brossier's backhand loop on that last point. But there's the smooth, silky backhand loop from Damien
5-1.
Provost. As a lefty, he's going to play a lot of balls out to the forehand side. Really wants to get Brossier out of his backhand corner and that step around that he loves to do.
Oh, there's the return. Off the
5-2.
big forehand from Brossier. Provost able to angle it back for the winner. Using Brossier's pace against him.
Exactly.
3-5.
Look for Provost to make a run right now.
Win to serve.
When Provost needs a point, he'll start attacking faster, a little bit more aggressively.
Four straight points for Provost
4-5.
after Brossier scored the opening 5. It's a 1-point game. And 5 in a row now for Provost.
Often so streaky when Provost is playing because he uses such ease and just places the ball perfectly to the corners. Once he gets on a run, he's very difficult to stop. Oh, Brossier with a nice step around, his trademark shot.
That's great stuff.
Brossier is going to have to take some risky shots in order to get the ball through Provost's defense. Otherwise, that's what's going to happen.
6-all. Win to
Provost
serve.
generates so much forward motion. You don't see a big backswing. When he's ready to attack, he just launches his body through the ball. Nice touch. And here comes the big forehand drive out to the forehand.
Provost takes his
7-6.
first lead of the game at 7-6. Trailed 5-0. Brossier turns back to his bench with a fist pump. Gorak and Gonzalez on their feet.
And Provost turned back to his bench saying, how could I miss that ball? He had it exactly where he wanted, that backhand down the line.
What's the answer?
Just reaching for the ball. You got to let that ball come in to your body a little bit more.
Missed it again, and Brossier's back in front.
8-7.
When you're anxious, it's so easy to move your hands before your feet.
3 straight shots sailing long off Provost's
7,
paddle.
9.
Grossier just putting so much pressure. You just see Provost saying that ball's bouncing all over the place.
Grossier closed this out. This has been a game of runs. Great stuff.
Provost is so
8,
smooth
9.
when a player's in the backcourt. Completely eyes when they start to step around or to move an extra step, finds the open court.
Missed it.
10,
Game points for
8.
Grossier.
You can see Provost, he had the ball that he wanted. Just went too extreme with the angle.
Game point. And Grossier takes game
11,
one.
8. First
What a
game.
whirlwind that was. He went in front 5-0, fell behind 7-6, but from there closes on a 5-1 run to finish it off.
And I think just bottom line was more fight. After every point, Benjamin Grossier just continued to move forward and keep the pressure on Damien Provost. Provost had a number of shots to put the ball away, but just couldn't execute.
So tell me this guy's name. It looks like he could be a Crocs. Crocs key. Crocs key to success. You bet. Wow. Can I show everybody? Do you mind?
You were saying yesterday that Grossier reminds you of yourself with the way he runs around to use his forehand. Is that a bad thing?
Well, he says he has a good backhand. His forehand is really tremendous. He says when he's under stress, he likes to go to the forehand. I kind of felt the same way as a player, that if I didn't have to hit backhands, I wasn't going to. But his fight has just been tremendous here in game one. He's just really taking it up a notch, playing against the Wynn's #1 draft pick. And this would be huge for the Crocs to get some momentum and to continue it after what we saw with Daniel Gorak.
Second game.
Florida's always been a
Crocs
momentum
serve.
team.
Love on.
Again, with Ojo coming in the 4th singles, you can expect a lot of firepower from the lefty Nigerian.
Game 2. That's a heck of a winner from Damien Provost.
Provost is just playing the entire table.
Grossier didn't do a whole lot wrong on this rally.
He's running around getting a lot of forehands in, but you can't play forehands that wide with Provost on the other side, just going for the angles. And look at that forehand by Grossier,
1,
just
all.
flipping it over the table.
He was literally off to the side of the table hitting that winner, but he knew he had it. Saw the angle.
Playing on adrenaline right now.
Both these players
2,
competing
1.
at pretty high level. Provost was Chicago's first-round pick. This hit on the return.
1,
3-1
3.
lead for Damien.
What I think is happening is Grossier is looking at his racket, trying to make sure the ball wasn't wet. Ball took just a quick skid in the opposite direction. Didn't make a big deal out of it.
Table tennis is a tough
1,
game outdoors
4.
in the rain, what you're saying.
Well, sometimes there's a little bit of sweat or condensation that gets on the ball, and if a ball takes a weird bounce, players will look at their racket instantly thinking that was the fault of the ball and not their angle.
4, 2.
You ever played outdoors on a windy day and have to battle through the elements against the Chicago wind?
Not in any official events, family events for sure.
You just hustle your family nonstop, don't you?
Provost once again.
5-2.
So smooth. He's taking his time, really not rushing anything.
6-2.
Brossier had a 5-0 run to start game one and a 5-1 run to finish game one. He's going to need to come up with something similar here if he's going to have a chance to get back in this middle game.
That's a start. Changing the
7-3.
spin on the serve. First backhand was really
8-3.
good by Brossier. Second one lifted the ball a little bit.
I should mention that these two players did go head-to-head in
3-9.
Daytona Beach, and Provost took 3 straight, 11-9, 11-6, and 11-6. So Brossier has already done better than he did a month ago.
Oh, look at that beautiful placement.
Game 2 has belonged to Provost.
10.
Brossier was ready to do his trademark step around. Provost just waited for the first step and went the other direction.
11-3. Second game.
11-3 for Provost. Lopsided victory in game number 2. And the rubber game between these two Frenchmen coming up.
It's really going to be up to Provost to continue the angles and just to shut down the footwork of Benjamin Brossier. I would almost think that if Brossier can serve a little deeper, mix it up, make a first stronger shot, that could be something to his advantage. But Provost, again, so smooth, so good on the placement, waiting for his opponent to move early in order to find the open court. Look at that, just open court winner without any effort.
If anyone has any questions,
Time.
Provost talking to himself a lot more, realizing that 3-0 victory in Daytona Beach isn't going to hold here. He's going to have to get his act together in order to start this third game strong.
Florida took 2 out of 3 in the first match. Gorak over Hanin.
Third game. Win to serve.
Provost
Love
trying to
ball.
return the favor and even up this team match leading into the doubles. Game 3, Provost begins with the serve.
That was a beautiful serve. Second ball,
1-0.
the second bounce would have been on the white line. Forced Brossier just to make a simple return, and he paid for it.
Provost pretty stoic out there. Doesn't have huge emotional outbursts after victorious points.
He
Stays level-headed.
trying to take care of business right now. He will display some emotion when he misses a ball.
Respect that.
Brossier had a high ball,
1.
couldn't do anything with it. Provost just kept the pressure on. Playing the ball into the elbow area. Nice block by Brossier right off the bounce,
3.
forcing Provost to move his feet.
Provost wants a new piece of equipment.
Interesting way of getting rid of the ball.
Hopefully it becomes a souvenir for someone.
And Provost does a really nice job of keeping
2,
Brossier in the backcourt.
Yeah, he's kept him off balance too.
Again, with Brossier wanting to get forehands into play on virtually every shot. The demands on his footwork are extreme.
Forcing him into a defensive posture. We've seen Brossier go down to a knee at times.
Yeah, many times stepping around his backhand in order to play one more forehand. And Brossier does not want to be a chopper, but that was due to Provost's strong ball position, and they'll change ends at 5.
It was a topsy-turvy first game, but obviously Provost has seized control here. 16-5 since the start of game 2. So time for Brossier to make a run. Heck of a hustle play to keep that ball alive off the net, but Provost still wins the point.
And Provost says he's sorry, but what placement. Just no place for Brossier to hide as he makes a great backhand loop, and then Provost turns it around and goes out to his forehand.
Net. Seven, 2.
Brossier has lost the rhythm that helped him catapult toward a Game 1 victory. Showing the frustration with the body language now, trailing 7-2. And you can just feel the snowball continuing to gather momentum for Damien Provost.
Provost does such a nice job. When he loops the ball, you really don't know where he's going to till the last moment. That's a nice backhand loop by Brossier.
8. Nine.
Not as
3.
nice on that one.
Win to serve.
So Damien Provost, after going 7-2 in singles down in Florida, positioning a 5-4 here in Myrtle,
Net.
cementing himself as one of the stronger singles players in the league. You talk so much about the experience, Sean. Gorak being north of 40, Provost now 39.
10, 3.
And for both those players, the deal is, can they keep their physical up? Mentally, they're sharp. Tactically, they know how to win.
4,
And the
10.
amount of
Crocs.
matches that are being played here at MLTT isn't overwhelming, but the intensity is so high, especially with the Golden Game.
Brossier
5,
fought off a
10.
couple game points here. Still a very long road ahead. Another error from Provost,
10,
however.
6.
Chicago Ben trying to energize Provost to take care of it here on his serve. That's it.
11,
Provost
6.
does manage to get 2 out of 3
Win.
over his countryman Benjamin Brossier.
Just a great display of touch, placement. When Provost needed the big shots, he went on offense.
A few things to look forward to in doubles for those of you a little newer to the sport. The umpires will be standing to keep an eye on the serves.
22-9 over the final 2 games for Damien Provost. And he evens up the team match, 3 points apiece. Damien and has kindly put the headset on for us. Damien, congratulations. There was a lot to that first game. Let's talk first about that initial game. You fall behind 5-0, then you score 5 in a row. What's going through your mind with those big swings of momentum?
The thing is, I felt I could do much more than last month. And last month I won 3-0, playing solid. And I tried to play with the ability that I had today, but I think it was not a good tactic. I started rushing a little and I started 5-0, it's tough. And yeah, and then I think that's this poor start damaged the first set, and after that it's even so you come back, still it affects. But I think I adjusted pretty well for the second and third set. Played less winning shot, more solid, more with the rhythm, more changing the pace, the location,
2 minutes warm up.
the depths, and it affects him more than if I play like normal players. And yeah, but I wish I could have won 3-0 like last month, but it's not the case.
So Damien, I have a question for the fans. You have such beautiful technique. You're so smooth out there. What advice would you give to especially younger players that like your style of play? Is it more matches? Is it more particular drills? How could somebody emulate your game?
No, I think if not matches, practice, I think I try to do always exercise where I can be efficient, to focus more on what I can do at the moment. Sometimes I can do more difficult exercise because I feel good. Sometimes I do easier because the main thing is to get my timing here. If the timing is here, like body and arm, you can generate power like without so much strength, and that's the goal I have every day I practice. That's the main goal I have.
What was it like celebrating your birthday by taking 2 out of 3 over Enzo yesterday?
Yeah, it was good, but it would have felt better to win the match. Like I was happier the day before when I lost and we won. So it's okay.
Hope it's been a pleasant birthday weekend for you, Damien. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see you in the Golden Game.
Thank you.
Provost takes 2 out of 3 over Brassier as we head toward doubles.
Crocs to serve.
The duo of Gorak and Ekholm retake the table against Hanin and Tan.
There will be some fireworks in this match just because Hanin's forehand so big. And look for the Crocs to play a little safer and use that
0-1.
experience. Emily Tan played extremely well yesterday in the doubles, although she didn't get the W. There's the forehand of Hanin.
0-2.
He will not be playing many backhands in this doubles match. He'll run around really trying to launch that forehand off of Matilda's shot.
3 straight points for the win to begin this doubles match. Gorak and Ekholm currently 9-6 as a doubles team in MLTT.
1-3.
Continually reference their experience, savvy, ability to play through adversity, stay mentally strong.
That was a great forehand loop by Matilda
2-3.
Ekholm. Made it land right on the forehand white line. That was a nice jamming shot by
4-2.
Emily Tan into Matilda's backhand corner.
Emily Tan, the 17-year-old high school senior. Aside from table tennis, the toughest thing in her life right now is physics homework.
And those college apps.
Yeah.
5-2.
In every era that's stressful, but perhaps no more so than in the current era. Well, you got to imagine that table tennis programs around the country are angling to have Emily apply to their school.
Definitely there's a very strong base of colleges in the Bay Area, which I'm sure she'll apply to, possibly living at home, but there's also other schools like Texas Wesleyan that are very strong. NYU has a great program.
7-3.
National Collegiate Table Tennis Association works together with Major League Table Tennis to allow players like Emily to continue to improve their game and also get that secondary education. Oh, look at Gorak just playing that ball down the line with ease.
That's exquisite.
That's great teamwork by the Crocs. Just the 1-2 punch. Ekholm does a super job of taking that ball and keeping the offensive pace behind it. And a lot of communication between Matilda and Daniel, letting each other know what type of serve they want, what type of return.
Net. Full fault.
And the serve was actually in the wrong court after it hit the net, so they will lose that point. Ball must go from the right court to the other side. Diagonal.
8-6.
It's 8-6 now.
Timeout.
And a timeout taken.
Coach Owens would like to see them take this first game,
Timeout called by Eric
possibly
Owen,
get that
head coach
early
for
lead.
Chicago win.
in
John,
match play.
we were talking about
Interesting
Emily
questions.
Tan's
Not only the
lifestyle in
signals on
terms
the
of
serve,
balancing
sometimes
table
you'll see
tennis
a
and
player who's
education. When you were
serving,
17,
saying,
what
"This
was
is
the
what I
dynamic
do."
like in terms of maintaining the balance between your education and your table tennis career?
It was stop college and go to Sweden and play professionally. Trying to do exactly what Matilda, Daniel, and all the international players do, which is to play in the pro leagues in Europe, because that's where the competition is. And then come back to school. I was basically on the 10-year plan. World Championships would be in the spring, and so you could go to class during that time, and I'd go to class in the fall. So it'd just be
Like 1 semester a year?
exactly, and then some summer school classes if it was possible late in the summer, because we'd have our U.S. Open. But it is doable, thanks to NCTTA, the College Association. Now they have great teams, co-ed league, singles, doubles. So Emily will continue to play. Lily Jung, one of our other top players, went through college, continued to hold her level, and you've got Amy Wong and Rachel Sung also at UCLA at the moment.
Good.
Nikhil Kumar is at UC Berkeley. So college table tennis is alive and kicking.
Players from Texas Wesleyan playing Major League Table Tennis as well.
Yes, we have Mr. McDonald is playing there. So exactly so. And I can't wait to see Silva in the next matches now that he's on the Blasters.
Making all sorts of history, playing on multiple teams, multiple divisions.
7-10.
A player from Sri Lanka in Major League Table Tennis, making a name for himself. Game point here. Haneen and Tan unable to close it out there.
And again, great
10-8.
hands by Matilda, just changing the spin up. A little bit of a backhand inside out block. Got the job done.
Need to serve. Game point. Oh, good forehand from Ekholm.
Just a perfect 1-2 combination for the Crocs.
Caught Haneen off guard.
And again, it's Ekholm finishing the point set up by her partner, Daniel Gorak. We saw them in this situation yesterday, coming back.
Florida fights back and creates the first golden point of this Sunday morning. It'll be the Crocs serving at 10-all.
Look for Ekholm to try to make that first spin. See if she can move it around and stay away from Haneen's forehand.
Florida rallies to take game one, 11-10.
They got the setup they wanted. Ekholm got into the backhand, allowing Gorak to keep the offense going into tan.
What a comeback there from the Florida Crocs. And the timeout has been spent.
Felt like Chicago had that one locked down, but just unable to close it out. Gorak and Ekholm mentally tough again, late when it matters most.
And that is the beauty of doubles. Teamwork, setting up your partner, not overplaying, knowing that you've got an extra person to make a good shot if you can't. And again, Evan, Emily and her partner Haneen are playing fine. They're doing everything they should. It's just the experience of the Crocs playing a little bit more as a team is giving them the slight edge.
They could tell the signs, and then they could quickly shout to their team in their own language.
Time.
Expect the short serve, no spin. Get ready for the backhand flip.
How can your confidence get rattled by dropping 4 straight points on game point like that to let one slip away?
That's the difference between the levels of play. If you can forget it quickly, you'll be fine. If you let it linger into the first 2 or 3 points of the next game, you're going to pay for it. You have to be good at forgetting games in this sport. Can't let them stay with you. And of course, the order is going to change, so the dynamics of this match will be altered. You can see Haneen's going to just go right after
1-0.
Matilda on his attacks. Maybe up to Gorak to keep the ball short and low or attack first.
1-0.
Emily needs to stay positive. Good block by Emily.
1-2.
Very aggressive serve by Haneen. Putting a little more spin on it and also not being afraid of if the ball goes long. Trying to force Ekholm to play an offensive shot instead of a controlled drop shot.
4-2 lead for Chicago as they go to the towels. Seemingly not letting the frustration linger from game 1.
Nice backhand flip by Emily.
2-5.
Good placement.
Something about this Gorak and Ekholm team, it feels like they're most comfortable when they're down by 3 points.
And it's that 1-2 punch. When Daniel Gorak lands his forehand, Ekholm is always ready to keep the offense going.
Good serve from Emily Tan. Ooh.
Ekholm with the great return. Put a lot of underspin. That ball did not come out. Emily almost had to reach over the table to try to keep touching it. Ball just stayed still. And again,
5.
deep push by Gorak, but Ekholm able to block the loop back with pace. This is excellent play by Ekholm, just Complementing her partner with both blocks and backhand loops.
Just like that, down 3, back even again, 6-all.
There's the deep serve that Hameen feels he needs to do to get a weak return, but Ekholm just turns the corner and loops a winner.
I'll take that serve and raise you a forehand. Hand went for it.
That shot's so difficult. There's not much angle when you're stepping around to drive the ball down.
Takes the last 7 points for Florida after they were down by 3 early. I think we had 2 games in a row that Chicago's going to let a lead slip away. This hit by Ekholm makes it 9-7.
9.
And that's what Chicago has to do, just keep attacking. Can't play safe and allow the Crocs to go on an offensive campaign here. Need to keep the pressure on, force them to make big shots. And Matilda makes a big shot. Just smashes
7.
Hameen's beautiful forehand opening.
This team of Gorak and Ekholm just continue to play the great points really well. The big points go their way in both the first 2 games, and now an 11-7 lead, or victory I should say, to take the opening 2 games of doubles.
And just completely firing on all cylinders. Both Ekholm and Gorak working so well, realizing 1 point at a time and then get that streak going.
Remember, 5 matches to be played.
Big swing coming up here in this 3rd final game, whether it's going to be 6-3 or 5-4.
I want to know, what's the conversation about?
And Evan, you spoke yesterday about those lack of sweeps. This is our first sweep opportunity on day 3.
Yeah, we saw at least 1 sweep in singles or doubles in each of the first 15 matches to the MLTT season across the 2 divisions. That streak ended yesterday in the Florida Princeton match when all 5 singles doubles matchups were either 1-2 or 2-1.
3rd game, Crocs to serve, love all.
Have not been as many sweeps overall here in Myrtle Beach. Only 4 total through the first couple days. 2 of them from Daniele Pinto, who's inactive today.
Right. Sitting on the bench and cheering his teammates.
Another one was from Mark Duran, who's inactive today. That caught the edge.
2-1.
Emily has to make that shot. That's right on her racket.
She knows it.
better play by Chicago, just staying up at the table, forcing the Crocs to make that big final shot from the backcourt. Oh, great over the table backhand return by Daniel Gorak.
Shaping up to be a pretty good Sunday for Dan Gorak. 2 out of 3 over Sasser Hanin in singles, and 6 points away from a 3-0 sweep in doubles.
Of course, he'll trade that if he can win the golden game and add those 6 points to his team.
Cairo back within 1.
Ouch.
Wow.
5 all.
That'll leave a mark.
For sure. Ekholm wondering why Gorak went for the chop, because that's a ball right to the body. Chicago doing a great job. Although they're down 2-0, they're continuing to put a lot of force. Not a smart push by Emily there. She's either got to drop that ball short or dig it super deep. Gorak's going to have no problem finishing that point.
Six all. Point for Florida. Ekholm took the body shot, but gets the point.
She's been the recipient of a couple of Hanin's strongest shots, whether they're landing or missing.
Sasha taking a long look at his racket after that swing.
Great points by Chicago. Again, Emily doing a tremendous job staying up to the table and keep attacking the ball. Ekholm wanted that fader from the backcourt, didn't land. So what they're doing right now is they're looking at Hanin's racket. There's a chance that there's either a bubble or a cut on the surface.
So right now they're
and generally,
the racket. When
the umpire will say, go to your backup racket
break the rubber, which affects the shot and the bounce.
Put that into play. Players are expected to have a backup paddle,
to replace your racket. If you accidentally
and then you just continue the match.
So they're calling in the referee, Ed Hawks.
Otherwise, it's like a broken string in tennis. You don't want to have a player have the opportunity to hit a ball and have the ball bounce off at a weird angle. So they're going to have head referee Ed Hogshead tell him that yes, there was a defect, or at least say,
was it Ekholm that was pointing it out?
Possibly. She might have been able to see it from where she was standing a lot more, like, hey, you've got a broken pip on your blade. So he's going to now show the head referee his backup racket. That'd be good to go.
Will we get any warm-up?
Nope.
Is good to go. So the match will continue. Racket in hand. Let's hear it for the players. Here we go.
all
0,
pro
2,
players
7,
will have
7.
one
Win to serve.
built the exact same specs as the main one.
Looks like the new racket works.
8,
Definitely.
7.
And again, I'm watching Emily. She's doing an amazing job of just keeping the offense going and staying close to the table, allowing her partner just to kind of roam freely and get his forehand into play.
Eight all.
Ekholm giving the serve selection signal. And that was a big
9,
fight
8.
for Ekholm to get her forehand loop in.
Late in close games is when the Crocs have shined most.
Oh, and that was a nice
9,
drop shot by Haneen,
9.
forcing Ekholm to completely cross over, getting it short out to her forehand.
Returning to the backup racket conversation, like when you went to the Olympics, how many rackets would you bring with you?
Generally just 2, because you don't tend to bubble or break paddle all that often.
10,
So
9.
Haneen and Tan get to 10 first, but we've seen that before. The question is, can they get to 11 first? Gorak and Ekholm were down 10-7 in the first game, came back to win it. Game point, Haneen and Tan, and that caught the edge.
10, oh.
My goodness.
Ekholm decided to go as wide as possible.
One more point here in this doubles match. Can Gorak and Ekholm complete the sweep? Ekholm will serve. It's a sweep, including 2 11-10 wins. Haneen and Tan can't believe it. Gorak and Ekholm deliver the goods yet again.
Just great teamwork, mixing up the serve. Gorak with the short, soft touch. Then Haneen's ball goes off the end of the table for a Crocs sweep.
Very impressive. Remember, this was all a turnaround.
Gorak and Ekholm are now 12-6 in doubles in MLTT. The Florida Crocs doubles tandem getting the job done. Mati Ekholm joins us now. She's showing off her shoes and socks to the crowd. What's going on, Matilda?
Oh my God, that was
Players.
that was close. Yeah, what a match. I don't know how we do it. We're so strong mentally.
Were you going for the corner edge shot at 10-9 there?
Totally. That's what I was aiming. No, really, I misjudged the spin a little bit. I was 100% lucky. Just caught the edge there. So, yeah, it was. It felt like a close game from the start, like the whole match. But yeah, again, just like yesterday, we kept going, focus. I got a little bit angry. That kind of motivated me to focus even more. So yeah.
So the one thing I have seen, Matilda, is that regardless of the score, you guys are always communicating positively.
Players.
You're never complaining to your opponent or about maybe some of your own shots if they go long. But
Totally, yeah.
that energy and that just positive going forward, it almost seems like whether you're down 3 points or 5 points, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I want to give a lot of credit to Daniel. He's amazing. Like, just keep going. He's just like, relax, just have fun. You know, like he's perfect for the team. I have to say, really creating a great atmosphere in the whole team. So even though we lost yesterday, we were all like, yeah, we did our best and just keep going.
I think I asked you this down in Florida as well, but you retired from competition a few years ago. What has it been like you know, acclimating back into the highest level of table tennis here in USA?
So the first weekend, it was I was a little bit like, oh, I almost forgot what it was like to play at this level. But this time, I'm a little bit more in it and also a little bit better shape. So yeah, I hope to just keep getting better this whole year.
You having fun?
So much fun, so much fun. I almost forgot how much fun it is.
Awesome, great stuff. Congrats on taking 3 straight games in doubles. We'll see you in the Golden Game.
Thank you.
Matilda Ekholm and her partner Dan Gorak deliver in doubles today for the Crocs. Third singles match, Sean O'Neill features the Romanian Alex Kazaku and Daniel Gonzalez from Puerto Rico.
I think this is really going to come down to, I've said it before, that serve and serve return part of the game. Gonzalez, very unique service style, really gets low in his own crouch. And Kazaku, just big shots from all over the court. Kazaku had some issue with the service toss yesterday. We saw the umpires giving him warnings and also taking points away. So we'll see.
Both these guys did, actually.
I think, yeah, Gonzalez lost a point as well. But the guns are out, so.
It's not a sweltering day in Myrtle Beach, only mid-upper 60s, but warm enough for Gonzalez to be showing off those biceps. And that caught the edge.
0-1.
Just narrowly so. Watching it live, I didn't think it did. Kazaku gets the early break. 1-all.
2-1-1.
Both these players 1 and 2 so far here in Myrtle Beach. Kazaku went 5 and 1 down in Daytona, so he's 6 and 3 overall in singles. Gonzalez's MLTT debut came yesterday. He took the opening game he ever played against Prishepa, I believe.
Yep, and then the final 2. Kind of had his hands full. But look for both of these players to want to finish the point. Just think that Kazaku has a little bit more full court presence. Backhand quite a bit stronger. And there's a nice banana flip there over the table. Kazaku definitely plays big on the highlights when the ball's going back and forth. Pulls out some amazing shots.
Why do you call it a banana flip?
The tip of the racket is actually pointing downward, and then it's a full wrist. We did a little bit of it yesterday when you were working on your backhand, but it's normally done on short balls in order to pick it up,
Crocs to serve.
to use that wrist for extra spin. During my time and generation, that shot really didn't even exist. Game has continued to change with technology, with the ball, with the scoring. Of course, Major League Table Tennis adding the golden point in addition to the golden game makes it even more exciting.
What's the biggest difference in the paddles now from when you played, or are they pretty much the same?
Mostly everyone's using carbon fiber. When I was playing, it was mostly all wood. A couple people used carbon, but now it's standard with the ball going from a 38mm size. They increased it up to 40 and then 40 plus. So more carbon fiber rackets just to generate that power, and also the sponge on the rubber is a little bit more responsive. I mean, it's just a blazing rip there by Kazaku.
Speaking of responsive.
Kazaku has no difficulty putting the ball away, and that ball pops up even an inch.
Kazaku fired up as he takes a 6-4 lead.
And he wants to get Chicago back on the board to try to even up this match after the sweep by the Croc in the doubles. Oh, that's a great shot by Gonzalez.
5-6.
stayed in the backhand court knowing he had a chance to play another forehand and just drove it through the middle. What a drop shot off the serve.
7-5.
Kazaku was apologizing for it, but it was perfect.
It would have been a difficult shot had it not hit the edge. Just used the spin perfectly on the serve return. Let the ball bounce out. Gonzalez did everything he could just to touch the ball.
Eight, 5.
Very good serve combination there by
5-9.
Kazaku.
Good short drop shot there from Kazaku.
And
on the
Kazaku
return.
just
5-10.
controlling that serve and serve return element of the game. Great drop shots.
Kazaku takes
11-5.
game 1
Win.
by a 6-point margin, 11-5.
And just disarming Gonzalez's very important service game, taking that away from him, giving him nothing to work with.
Impressive stuff from Kazaku. He improves to 7-3 in singles in MLTT. 34-year-old from Bucharest, Romania.
Just so cool to see a person with that much power have the touch on the serve return just to mix it up. Great stuff.
Sean, I want to go back to what we were talking about before. When you traveled to Sweden right out of high school, what was that like, being a teenager, a professional athlete, but a young American kid? Presumably this was the first time you had been to Europe and lived in Europe.
As a full-time player, it was. I had gone to Europe as an 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old every year to Sweden. So
Second game.
playing full-time
Crocs to serve.
made a
Love
huge
off.
difference. What these players do here at MLTT, train twice a day, 2 to 3 hours each session, and you need that for just the experience, the physical, in order to develop the skills. So
What was the biggest culture shock
0-1.
for 18-year-old Sean O'Neill living full-time over there?
gosh, probably just being homesick. A lot of my friends in college enjoying going to the football games, the tailgating, to getting ready for basketball games, and I was over in I was in Stockholm, but then also in some other small towns playing ping pong in the Swedish winter. One thing that was really nice was that Matilda played at the same club that I did, so we had some fun stories to share when she got into MLTT.
Tied 2-2 here in game 2. I mean, this was before the days of FaceTiming your family or even emailing your family.
Yeah, email would have been great when I was going to school as a elementary school and middle school kid. Instead, we used the postal service, and they would send my tests over, and I'd have to get them proctored in a middle school in order to keep my grades up.
How much did it cost to call your family on a landline?
Well, you literally had to make an appointment with the operator, and they would call you back when they had your family on the line. I could call once a week after tournaments. So
a different lifetime, like a different planet.
Technology should have been there back then, but right now with the internet, watching the matches live.
Yeah, now folks in Sweden can be watching this live.
We've got Dima Ovtcharov from the Revolution watching his team members across the pond.
And for the European audience, the Sunday schedule time-wise is perfect. Beginning late afternoon into the evening.
Of course, if anyone can't watch it live, check it out on Bally's Live or YouTube.
He's available.
Look at the power here.
That's a great point for Daniel Gonzalez.
And Daniel raises his hand. There's a little bit of a miss-hit on this final forehand, but it gets the job done. Finally going down the line after getting jammed. Kazaku just does a better job of getting that first attack going. Places it really well after the drop shot. Both these players take such big swings. Great job by Gonzalez to stay up at the table.
4-7.
And he's upped his level here in game 2. Quick twitch. Right on cue.
7-5.
7-5.
And Kazaku made a great placement on the serve, just outside of that backhand reach.
Wow.
That serve return popped up too high off of Kazaku's racket. Gonzalez says thank you very much. Goes right for the body.
That did not catch the edge.
5-9.
And Gonzalez is closing in here.
Just doing a much better job of staying close to the table. And again, good pressure by Gonzalez makes a quality block.
Daniel Gonzalez
11-5.
responds in kind after dropping the opening game 11-5. He wins by that same score in game 2.
That last shot by Kazaku was more out of frustration. Looked like he was trying to make a 5-point shot here, just muscled it over. Didn't really work the point, but got off the table as quickly as possible.
So Gonzalez makes it 7-4 overall. One more point for the Crocs would guarantee them the lead heading into the Golden Game. Ojo Onaolapo and Dan Liu, the final singles matchup, on tap next.
Clearly, any team wants to go into that Golden Game up at the maximum amount. And play a lot of just trading points then.
The team that's had the lead going into the Golden Game is 4-0 here in Myrtle Beach.
Time.
Now, Florida did come from behind twice in Daytona Beach. The September weekend, trailing at the start of the Golden Game. One of those times was against Chicago.
Love all.
It was just a 1-point deficit. They were down 8-7. An opportunity here for Florida. Kazaku with some big hitting.
1-0.
Just nice finesse on that loop. Kazaku not happy with that mistake. Very good serve by Gonzalez.
Good combination there.
1-3.
Gonzalez, a 3-1 lead here in the rubber game.
And again, Kazuku's serve return, they're popping up a little bit, allowing Gonzalez to play his forehand without any difficulty. You can hear Kazuku. He knows he needs these points right now to get back in game 3.
Almost an Adam Bodrowian snake, and Daniel Gonzalez had no trouble with it.
They need a little bit more English on this ball as he's popping it up. Gonzalez made a perfect play to take that ball down the line to the backhand side. Great follow through.
Adam, as usual, is grinning ear to ear right now, sitting amongst the fans.
And that's a much better serve return by Kazuku. He's got to keep it low. Kazuku with a great forehand flip, but Gonzalez keeps the ball in play. Just one more shot. Kazuku really doesn't move his feet that much for the final backhand.
Speck of something wiped off the table.
You can just see the smooth backhand loop of Kazuku. Gonzalez, if he's going to push the ball back, it needs to be short. Can't give an easy opening. Much better return there.
6-4.
Just dropped it so gently over the net. Kazuku with the offense from the backcourt.
6-5.
This game is far from over right now. Gonzalez trying to get his big forehand into play.
What has been the difference since game 1? Kazuku really dominated the opening game. Gonzalez has, I think he's upped his level, but what have you seen?
I just seen Kazuku overhitting and missing some shots, but it's due to the pressure of Gonzalez. The more Gonzalez stays close to the table, Kazuku has to go for a bigger shot.
Right now, in what
Again,
feels like a
Gonzalez
must-win
showing with that
game.
very unique
Chicago
service
Wing,
motion.
remember, comes into this as the number
Very
3
difficult
team
to
in the
determine the
standings.
amount of spin or where he's serving it
Florida
to.
Crocs way up there right now.
But
So
Kazuku
while they were
needs
beaten
to
last night by
stay up to the table as well in order to push Gonzalez back.
Nice to see Ekholm sporting the Myrtle Beach gear over there.
Yep. Gonzalez working so hard to keep the pressure on. There's a little bit of the Bobro snake, but Gonzalez had no issue taking it down the line for the winner.
That was a garter snake, not a king cobra. Gonzalez playing with his emotions
Time.
on his biceps.
And triceps.
He doesn't have sleeves. Doesn't show the sleeves, at least.
at 5 serving 7 with Daniel Gonzalez on the receive.
1-1, 5-7. Net.
Well, that's a great third ball attack by Kazaku.
6-7.
Very difficult to keep these topspin serves short. A little housekeeping going on.
Kazaku has fought back, and now Florida wants a timeout. Frank Arias sensing the importance of these next 6 or 7 points.
I think it's a very good decision here. He can give Gonzalez some tips on what type of serve to do, as well as to stay nice and calm.
When the timeout finishes, if they don't use up all 60 seconds.
Those serve returns have been quite long, giving Kazaku no difficulty getting that first spin in.
It would be quite jarring, it would be quite comical. Some might even say that people in this stadium would like
Time.
has done that before. And time is called. So Alex Kazaku will come back to the table. Daniel Gonzalez quickly ready for the action. It is 7 points apiece in the decider.
1-1.
Gonzalez
7-7.
with the serve.
Crocs to serve.
He'll be trying to get his forehand into play immediately if possible.
Big fist pump from Gonzalez.
8-7.
Coach Frank has to be happy with that timeout. Oh, great flip by Kazaku. Jumping on that topspin serve. Just using his backhand to play it out wide to the forehand.
Kazaku able to get on the attack first and sees control to go up 9-8.
And just a really smart move to get that first loop up and then to hold on to the offense. A chance to get to 10 first.
Into the net.
Just no angle from that position. Gonzalez did a nice job of keeping the ball somewhat low, but to the middle. Now Gonzalez with 2 serves.
Into the net. And Kazaku creates the first game point here in game 3.
And Kazaku with the backhand flip, instant pressure against the serve.
11-5 one way, 11-5 the other way. Now here we are, 10-9. And we'll get to 10-10. It feels like poetic justice for Daniel Gonzalez and Alex Kazaku to reach this golden point.
Will Gonzalez be able to keep that serve short, or will he go aggressive and take a risk?
Not an exaggeration to say the player that wins this point will leave this weekend feeling positive. The loser, not so much. Kazaku takes it for the Chicago Wind.
Shawshank Redemption finish for Alex Kazaku after
What a battle.
That was one big forehand by Kazaku, powering through. Gonzalez unable to put a paddle on the ball. Just a great match by both players. Kazaku thanking the table tennis gods for that last one.
Exhilarating stuff. Kazaku able to take 2 out of 3. And Alex dons the headset and joins us now. The first 2 games were not that close. You dominated one, Daniel dominated the next. That third game, on the other hand, Alex, that was tight the whole way. What's going through your mind in those critical moments, through the timeouts, battling to the end?
I knew after the timeout, it was 7-5 for him. We took timeout. I knew that I must risk a little bit in the receive, because if I only tried to push the ball on table, it was not good. I put high, or I was also a bit nervous, and then I must risk. I was thinking that I must risk a little bit.
It seemed both of you had such big forehands, but when the point got longer, you had a lot more options than he did. Were you thinking about extending the rally more, or were you thinking about just getting your first attack on?
First attack I was thinking, because in rallies, he's fast, I'm fast. I don't think it was so big rallies. I couldn't make more than 2. He also. We were finishing 1 or 2, both.
Alex, what's the mindset heading into the Golden game here? I mean, the whole weekend seems to hinge on those key points in the late moments.
It's tough. I don't want to speak about Golden. It's so stressful, and we are nervous, and you can play very good, you can play very bad. It's amazing feeling in Golden set.
Small margins decide these matches, but it's fun to watch. Thanks for putting on a show for us. We'll see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
Alex Kazaku, a 2-1 win over Daniel Gonzalez to bring Chicago back within 2 in the overall team match. And the score going into the Golden game very much hangs in the balance of what transpires here between the Nigerian Ojo Ona-Olapo and the American Dan Liu, who's originally from China but now lives in San Jose. Dan Liu has struggled in singles so far. We've seen him shift his grip. How will that change the dynamic going against Ojo here?
It's going to be better for Dan for sure, because he's just more accustomed to penholder grip, which he played his entire life and only recently changed over to shake hands. And I think that was much more for just coaching purposes, easier to play the backhand and keep the ball in play, easier for the student. But his serve and serve return, much stronger with a penhold grip. But the challenge is Ojo has such a big forehand, so athletic, so much power. And from anywhere on the court, you've got to be ready for Ojo to hit a winner. So I think Dan's going to try to slow the game down. Ojo's going to try to speed it up. We should be in for a great treat.
First game, Crocs to serve, love all.
Final singles match between Florida and Chicago. Enjoy. There's the forehand. And my goodness, that was vicious.
Ojo takes a full swing, whether the ball's deep or short, just does a great job of going over the table surface and stepping around. Just amazing.
0-2.
Out of the backhand corner.
It's not an exaggeration to say that Ojo Ona-Olapo has been one of the great revelations in the first couple months of Major League table tennis.
1-2.
He went 5-1 in singles in Daytona Beach. He's 2-1 so far this weekend with a 2-1 lead here against Liu. A 3-1 lead for the Nigerian.
And I think his biggest strength is there's just no hesitation. When he decides he's going to go for a finishing shot, it's 100%. That's a beautiful loop out to the forehand. Again, over the table.
4-1.
Just pure offense from Ojo. And it puts a lot of pressure on Dan Liu.
5.
He's going to have to figure out a way of getting his offense going. Because just putting it on the table, Ojo will jump on it.
Yeah, and it's hard to respond to Ojo's offense with offense.
You just have to keep that serve and serve return really short and low. And then if Ojo gives a safe return, that's when you've got to go on the offense. Because a deep serve, Ojo's going to be quick enough, fast enough, and loop it to the wide angles as a lefty. Look at that play. That is amazing.
This is domination right now.
Dan Liu made a great backhand loop, penhold, And Ojo just took it off the bounce and drove through it.
Been a demoralizing start for Dan Liu.
And then now that's forcing Dan Liu to run over to the forehand
8,
side to play a back,
1.
and he's got him completely off balance. That's what I was saying, Evan, last night. We were missing Ojo, and I think that Florida could have used him in that tight match.
9-1.
1-9.
Just mixing it up. That's better for Dan Liu.
2-9.
Nice tight serve. Ojo playing safe, and then Dan Liu just putting the ball away. Very strong return by Ojo, just cutting across the ball. 8 game points. Well, that's one way to stop
Liu will take it.
a firing Ojo.
Can he get a net ball winner 8 more times? No. No, he cannot.
11.
Ojo
3,
Onaolapo,
first game, Crocs.
11-3 in game 1. He's now 8-2 in Major League Table Tennis singles.
He looked like he had about 8 winners in that game. Just no difficulty getting his forehand going.
That's a great question, and you'll be happy to know for your own entertainment value, it is not possible. Even if a team has more than 11 points, if they're leading 15-0,
And just
hypothetically, the
such
Golden Game will
power
still be played.
over the
And the
table
reason is,
by
those
Ojo,
last 6 points could
both
be
to the
difference
forehand
between
and the
every
backhand,
team in the
mixing it up.
qualifying for the playoffs. It's a round-robin format, 21 points.
Serve
on the
return,
horizon. The Golden
very
Game
strong.
has a big swing. 15-0 is
Just
one
mixing
end
up the
start.
serve.
We've never seen a 15-0 start.
Dan Liu having no answer whatsoever.
So that game 1 win does guarantee the Crocs will head into the Golden Game with a lead. And the question now is, will they start 1-0, 3-0, or 5-0? And if that first game was any indication, it might be 5-0, but we have seen an 11-3 game go one way and then the other player able to turn it around.
Dan Liu's going to change his tactics for sure. He's not going to play any high balls if possible. And look at Ojo.
He's just in the zone.
I mean,
0-1.
Dan Liu is sending rockets, and Ojo's just returning them with ease. Oh, he almost made that one.
1.
Shook his head. He'd like to have that one back. Much better by Dan Liu.
1.
Drops
2.
the serve, gets that first loop in. But still, Ojo had a slight chance to counterattack it. And that was an overplay there by Dan Liu.
2.
He didn't want to see another one of those blocks.
Liu has made a little move here.
Much better job of keeping that ball short. Ojo went for the full swing, but it barely came off the end of the table.
Liu already with more points in game 2 than he had in game 1.
Now Ojo going to the backhand serve. That's usually an indication of wanting to change things up tactically, just to give a different look. And again, Ojo's so fast. Any pushes that come off the backhand side, he's going to step around and play his forehand loop, especially down the line as a lefty. Good blocking game by
4,
Ojo.
3 in a row now for Florida.
Net.
Salet. Another let called because of the ball toss that the umpire didn't like.
And the consistency of the umpires. Always to give the players a warning first before taking a point away.
Five all.
Challenge for Dan Liu is he knows that Ojo is going to come with a very big forehand. He can't play a tentative shot over the net. He's got to do something with the ball. Oh, and look at that. Ojo went for the quick backhand deep serve. Dan Liu completely ready for that. Just turned it over with his backhand cross court.
Here's a little nugget for you, Sean, a storyline that maybe you haven't thought of. African players in MLTT combined 15-4 in singles right now between Ojo and El Sayed Lachine.
I mean, I can't wait for the West Coast because the different players that we have with El Sayed, with his experience, his Olympic play, it's just a great counterbalance. And when we have that mix-up or matchup with the two conferences together. Oh, and look at that forehand. Ojo just put that ball away. That's what we saw in game one. Just a flying rip. But Nigeria and Egypt have been the two forces in African table tennis. And again,
we've got two of the standard bearers in MLTT.
7.
And what Ojo is doing right now, just putting pedal to the metal. And that was the perfect short return.
8 all.
That table will stop any full swing in its tracks. And that's what Dan Liu needs to do. Take it off the bounce quicker, add a little bit more spin, keep it short and low.
9 8.
That's the playbook that Coach Eric Owens is saying that Dan Liu needs to do. Short and low, make a quality deep opening attack.
Liu has earned game points
8
after
10.
dropping the opener 11-3. Far more competitive and an opportunity to even up this fourth singles match at a game apiece.
This is all about the lead in the golden game. Chicago trying to reduce the amount.
Liu's done it.
11
What a
8.
turnaround
Second
from Dan
game,
Liu.
Just excellent tactics by Dan Liu. Gets the job done, neutralizing the power of Ojo
Very impressive adjustments.
to even this matchup at one game apiece.
That's all four singles matches today, where the first two games have been split by the competitors. We saw the sweep in doubles, but all singles matches have been 1-1 through 2, which has created some rubber game drama throughout this late morning, early afternoon battle.
And I think you can credit that to the coaches. They're really altering the tactics, making sure they don't keep with a losing game plan, and these players able to execute so well because we've seen Ojo making great shots, and then we've seen him have nothing there. And again, that's Dan Liu and the Chicago Wind changing what they're doing in order to neutralize that big forehand.
Time.
And table tennis has a lot of power, a lot of spin, but the placement and the height of the ball play a major factor as well.
Third game. Crocs to serve. Love all.
And you can hear it on Dan Liu's
0-1.
celebration after that first point. Again, the drop and follow. This would be huge for Dan Liu
Don't touch the net.
after getting blown out in game 1 to come back and take 2 points for the Chicago Wind. Oh, that's a nice over-the-table backhand by Ojo.
2-1.
Ojo needs to get some offense going right now. Dan Liu with the tight serve.
3 out of the first 4 for Liu.
Nice short and low. Really nothing to work with for Ojo. And that serve return went too long by Dan Liu.
2-3.
Liu, you can just feel the confidence growing gradually but steadily.
And what a change from game 1,
Yeah.
where it was just a shellacking.
One-sided. Totally one-sided. It's table tennis.
And now Ojo
4-3.
getting his mojo going with that nice forehand loop.
I see what you did there. Dan Liu, though,
3-5.
doing a nice job minimizing that Ojo mojo.
Liu just wants these points to go short in duration, but also short over the net. Does not want to let Ojo get that first forehand in.
Net.
Players in the background getting ready for the golden game.
Dan Liu with a 6-3 lead.
3-6.
Again, such a great
Timeout.
short
Crocs.
return.
And a timeout
Florida
is called
timeout.
by Frank Arias. Adios.
So, you know, after game 1 here, it looked like Ojo was going to roll and Florida was going to have a 5-0 lead at the start of the Golden game, a 5-point lead overall, the team score, but all of a sudden Dan Liu in position to make this a razor-thin margin through regulation and leading into the Golden game with a very small difference between these two squads.
And Dan Liu just doing a great job of tightening up all of his returns, giving Ojo nothing to work with, forcing the errors, and just mentally, you can see the change in body language, got the whole Chicago team up on their feet,
Time.
giving Dan Liu that final encouragement to keep this momentum going.
Let's hear it for the players. Game number 3.
1-1. 3-6.
How impressed are you with just Dan Liu's poise to weather the storm in game 1 and come out the way he has since?
Well, I'm just thrilled for him because I saw in Daytona Beach how frustrated he was mostly to the grip, where he couldn't compete
6-4.
with these full pro players who have both a forehand and a backhand. Going back to the penholder grip, he has a lot more weapons. That last ball just caught the edge.
Now, he wanted to make sure Dan Liu knew it caught the edge before he apologized for it. There's the point, and that was the acknowledgement, and then the apology.
Heavy underspin serve by Dan Liu. Ojo unable to get it above the net. And that time Ojo said, I take that ball and send it for a winner.
That was game 1, Ojo.
Yeah. It was just wrist it very, very much. Just took it over the table, backhand, snapping a winner. And that's a
ball
return.
winner there for Liu. He'll take it. At this stage, I mean, the courtesy is to apologize, but you're just trying to win the points any way you can. You saw a little fist bump there after the apology. And another point to get within 2.
Dan Liu winning the battle of the short game. Able to drop it short 2 times. By the time Ojo tries to attack with the ball way too low. And really just a one-shot strategy after Ojo pushes the ball back long.
6 game points here for Liu. What a turnaround. Impressive stuff from the 32-year-old Dan Liu. Lost the opening game 11-3, but still able to take 2 out of 3 for the Chicago win, and that'll set up just a 1-point difference as we head into the Golden Game.
Just great mental play by Dan Liu, and tactically perfect play to nullify Ojo's mojo.
Coaches.
You can see Daniela Pinto celebrating along with Coach Eric Owens. We have a 1-point difference going into this Golden Game now.
The coaches will come together. Eric Owens for Chicago, Frank Arias for Florida. And the commissioner of Major League Table Tennis, Flint Lane, will oversee the selections to determine the order of the Golden Game. It's a single game to 21. Crocs begin with a 1-0 lead. Frank Arias getting in a little strategy session with Gorak and his crew. Let's send it down to the commish of the MLTT.
Okay, we're at the Golden Game. We've got Florida Crocs leading 8-7. They'll be starting with a 1-point lead. Chicago Wind will serve first, serve once. Florida will serve twice. Coach, who's your first pick?
Sasha.
Sasha Kanin will be leading off. Coach, who will you be facing against Sasha?
Ojo Onalapo.
Ojo Onalapo for your first choice. Who will be playing second?
Daniel Gorak.
Daniel Gorak, second. Who's facing off against Daniel, Coach?
Damien.
Damien Provost will be playing second. Who is your third player?
Kazaku.
Alexandru Kazaku will be third. Who is your third player?
Daniel Gonzalez.
Daniel Gonzalez. Who is your fourth?
Benjamin Brossier.
Benjamin Brossier. Who is your fourth, Coach?
Dan.
Dan Liu, making Emily Tan your fifth and making Matilda Ekholm your fifth. Shake hands. Good luck. Let's get to the table.
So the only differences in the matchups from what we saw, Ojo Onalapo will take on Sasha Hanin at the start here. And then Provost and Gorak will be paired together as well. And that also matches up Dan Liu, who just faced Ojo, with Benjamin Brossier for this Golden Game. Here we go, no warm-ups. Let's make some gold.
Not an easy situation for Ojo to come out after dropping 2 of the 3 points. What a block by Haneen.
Tested on the other side.
That was about a 45-degree angle backhand block to the open forehand.
And the net break recovery, they split here 2 points apiece. So 2 out of 3 points
2-2.
for Alexander Haneen, and he tagged
With
teams
Haneen
in
taking
Damien
2 out of
Provost
3
for Chicago
against
wins.
Ona Alapo.
And 2 serves to come
And now
for
here are the big
Crocs,
dogs,
and
Gorak
Daniel
and
Gorak
Provost.
on the receive.
Both these guys took 2 out of 3 in their singles matches. How will they fare in just 4 points against one another?
And Gorak trying to force the action. Jumping over onto the forehand side to play his backhand. Provost going for the deep serve and the quick counterattack.
Daniel Gorak takes the opening attack to tie it up at 3 points apiece. He has 2 serves now to come.
So Gorak splits points with Damien Provost.
Heavy push from Damien Provost, 3 serving 4.
Gorak finds himself trailing by 1. And an errant serve gives a huge opportunity for Chicago. A 5-3 lead after they trailed 1-0 entering the Golden Game. What happened on that serve, Sean?
He was just going for a very deep serve. The goal is to serve it close to the end line in order to make it go really flat and low over the net. He caught the back edge. Just mistimed the toss. And then we have Kazaku continuing with the big forehands.
And these two players played each other in the third singles match. It came down to a golden point in game 3. Kazaku winning 11-10 to take 2 out of 3. Every singles matchup has been tight
that's
today.
Smart touch by Kazaku, not going for too much when the shot wasn't there. Just continuing to place the ball on the table.
Three in a row for Kazaku.
These points are absolutely huge for Chicago.
3 serving 8.
3-8.
Oh, back edge that caught.
Switch.
Kazaku with a grin on his face, like, what am I supposed to do about that?
3 out of 4. Chicago
8-4.
will take it. And back to the table, Ben Liu and his pen
Tough
hold
way to
good.
see your 4-point sequence end, and you have to leave the table thinking about that. All right, Liu and Brossier.
And Ben Liu continues the positive energy. Deep serve into the backhand. And you can hear Brossier giving his own exclamation, able to withstand that same deep serve to the backhand and just keep the pressure on.
Do you know what he was exclaiming there?
He actually said the word usa, which is a fairly common Japanese word to encourage yourself in table tennis.
Incredible point won by Liu.
Both players pulling out all the stops to get their forehands going. It's a heavy topspin. Whose legs are stronger?
Liu takes 3 out of 4.
11-5. Switch.
Brossier just overplays that last ball. Now the ladies.
Yeah, do you give Ekholm an edge here just with her experience?
Definitely, but Emily has played so well, and if anyone can get Ekholm out of her game, it's Emily right now. Look at that. Aggressive serve, but kept it short. Matilda completely mistimed it.
5.
But then Matilda, with the deft hands, just soft touch.
Haneen and Ojo will be up next. 2 serves here for Matilda Ekholm. Opportunity for Ekholm to take 3 out of 4 if she can take this next point. Trying to inch the Crocs closer.
Net serve.
Wow.
Looked like Daniel Gorak with the smooth opening and then the driving, finishing ball. Ekholm definitely got the job done.
That's 3 straight for Ekholm, an important sequence for her team. Now it's up to Ojo to keep it tight. First point to Sasha.
And Sasha keeping that serve short, but with a lot of topspin, very difficult to cover with the drive. And that Ojo has no trouble going big off that push. Just gets his forehand into play. Good short serve return, but bingo.
9 serving 13.
Oh, what a sequence. Short ball after short ball, and then Ojo Onalapo opens it up.
And he stepped around that backhand knowing he only had 1 shot to hit a winner.
He missed it. So Haneen splits the 4 points and keeps the 4-point lead for Chicago. Mr. Golden Game, Daniel Gorak. Again in a critical spot for the Florida Crocs against Damien Provost.
Much better serve return by Gorak than he did in the first set of 4 points when these guys played. Just spinning that ball up deep into the backhand. But Provost goes on the offense.
John, real quick, if we were playing in a Golden Game, would you rather have the first 2 serves or the second, or the third and fourth serves in a 4-point sequence?
Second, third and fourth, just to have a chance to maybe mini break on those first 2. And also having the rhythm when you're serving.
11-16.
When you only have 4 points.
Gorak needs this to split the 4-point sequence. And he got it. So he wanted at least 3 out of 4. He gets just the 2. It's a 4-point game as Kazaku and Gonzalez come back to the table.
This is big for Kazaku.
I mean, he was in control the first time around for these 2.
If he can take 2 or 3.
Inching Chicago closer to the finish line. First the point though.
And Gonzalez goes offensive on the serve return. Nice flip, putting pressure on Kazaku.
Wow.
Gonzalez made a great forehand flip. Kazaku made a more unbelievable backhand rip. What power.
Still a 4-point lead for Chicago. 2 serves for Gonzalez.
Oh, and a nice underspin serve that caught Kazaku looking.
For Daniel Gonzalez.
Gonzalez able to take 3 of the 4 to bring Florida within 2.
Big forehand flip kill off the return, popped up a little bit, but Gonzalez went for everything. And now the 2 biggest fighters for their respective teams with Lou and Brossier.
Right into the body.
The Crocs are back within
Timeout,
one.
win.
Timeout taken by Chicago.
There was a big lead for Chicago.
As we get into the nitty-gritty of this golden game, Brossier and Liu on the table now. It'll be Ekholm and Tan next. If we get to 20 all, it would be Ojo and Sasha on the ultimate golden point.
But we'll take it by quite a bit. It's either going to be 13-8 in favor of Chicago.
Brossier just staying to himself, just focusing on what he needs to get done. There's no advice that's going to make a difference. He's got to get his forehand to land.
Time.
Dan Liu wants to control the short game. He wants to make it a one-shot point, preferably with his forehand loop.
17-16.
Benjamin Brossier on the receive.
Daniel Gonzalez able to take 3 out of 4, bringing Florida gradually back into this. Ekholm took 3 out of 4. Liu maintains Chicago's lead.
And again, the serve and serve return, Liu so strong. Kept the pressure on, stayed up at the table.
Big serve for Brossier. Huge. And a great return from Liu.
You can see Liu's excitement. Able to play that reverse penhold backhand.
We get another timeout, just 2 points after the first timeout. Liu won both points after the last timeout taken by Chicago. This final timeout taken by Florida.
It will not end here. 2 more points needed. Can you imagine coming into the golden game with 1 point to play? Think about the pressure for all these players. Some players have been sitting in the first half, and they're coming in now.
So regardless of what happens here, Liu has put Emily Tan in a pretty good position.
16-19.
With the second serve,
He can't win it for his team here, but he can get them on the brink. Brossier trying to make Matilda Ekholm's life a little bit easier by taking this point. And he does. So it's 19-17.
19-17.
Tan will serve.
Every point, every swing, making such a difference. Perfect placement on the serve.
And
Both ladies within striking range for their team.
This first point will say a lot. And Ekholm takes it.
And she has done that opening countless times. International play.
We're tied 19 all.
19-19.
Right now, Ekholm's thinking she wants to finish it on her serve. She doesn't want to have Ojo come out for a
Stop.
golden point.
Warning. Warning.
Not sure what that was about. Tense time for a chat. Ekholm serving at 19s.
Net.
Edgy moments here in Myrtle Beach. Tan sends it long. That's 3 straight for Ekholm.
19-19.
And it's Florida coming from behind with the first match point. Tan able to fight it off. And for the first time in MLTT history, it's the ultimate golden point here in the golden game. 20 all. It'll be up to Sasha Hanin and Ojo Onaolapo. 1 point for the glory.
20-20. Win to serve.
Hanin has the serve. Ojo with the return. Enjoy. Ojo Onolapo in a league of his own.
21-20.
Leaving Sasha Hadid in complete disbelief as the Crocs come from behind and win it 21-20.
What a return, going for the win on the point, out to the forehand, no hesitation.
I mean, Sean, what can you say about Ojo's swagger and confidence to go for that shot in that moment?
It was just amazing, but that's what we've seen of Ojo in all of his matches so far, going for the big shots at the most incredible time. And again, talk about Matilda Ekholm winning 3 out of 4 in the final points of this golden game.
Ekholm with all smiles, and speaking of a smiling guy, Frank Arias with the headset on. Frank, your Florida team was down big in that golden game. How did you come back and win it?
It was so tough today. I was hoping we were going to get closer, but then they had a big lead. But we had the spirit, and we said we're going to fight for it. And at the end, I said to Benji, just give me the point and let Matilda do her work.
What, if anything, did you say to Ojo before the ultimate golden point?
That was just one thing. Give me that win.
No, Coach, it seemed like everyone on the team played big at one point when Chicago had a chance to almost put it away early on, whether it was Benjamin, whether it was Gonzalez, of course. Gorak played huge, as he's always doing. Matilda, and then wow with Ojo.
Yeah, amazing. Each one did a great job and at the precise moment that we needed.
So you get the golden game win today after yesterday did not go your way. I mean, how does it feel to, you're now 5-1 in golden games. You stay atop the East Division more than likely. What are you most satisfied about with your team's performance?
Yesterday was a tough loss, but we fought every point, and we came today with the same spirit as the previous matches, and we say we're going to fight and we're going to go for it.
Any different lessons learned from your second full weekend of Major League Table Tennis compared to the first one?
Yeah, definitely, yes. We need to discuss a few things, and we're probably going to come stronger next month.
All right, well, congrats on a win today. The first ever 21-20 win in a golden game in Major League Table Tennis history. And we'll see you in Chicago on the Wins home turf in November.
Thank you so much, guys.
Frank Arias, the head coach of the Florida Crocs, gets to watch his team prevail in the most dramatic fashion. Sean, that was as good as it gets.
That's going to be tough to top, but we've got more action today. See what can happen in the next match.
Well, to your point, Princeton and Carolina are coming up exactly an hour from now. But the Florida Crocs are going to enjoy the glory of that golden game victory. Matilda Ekholm was magnificent, and Ojo Onolapo at 20-all goes for it and takes it. The Florida Crocs victorious again here in MLTT. Carolina and Princeton coming up. The Crocs 14-7 over for Chicago. For Sean O'Neill, other than Lepler, so long for now.